presenting the case ICC the prosecutor versus Dominique Ongwen. Our story begins with the backdrop of a civil war in Uganda, where different guerrilla armies are at war, while the weak government fails to provide stability. Dominique Ongwen entered the world in 1975 in Uganda, bearing the name Dominique Okamo Savu, during this complex period in Uganda's history. Ongwen was born in the village of Churo, in North Uganda, fourth son to Ronald Owaya and Alexia Kayu. His parents, like most others at that time, gave him a false name and trained him to use it in case of abduction, to protect the rest of the family. The name Ongwen means born at the time of the white ant, and it later became his official name. Ongwen is a former Ugandan child soldier and went on to become a commander of one of the brigades of the Ugandan guerrilla groups, Lord's Resistance Army, in short, LRA. Ongwen was convicted in the ICC in 2021 of war crimes and crimes against humanity, including murder, rape, torture, and enslavement. Ongwen's abduction at the hand of the LRA happened as he walked to school. According to his testimony, this happened in 1988 when he was just 14 years old. However, according to alternative versions, it has been reported that he was as young as 9 or 10. It is said that he had to be carried by the soldiers all the way up to the LRA's main military base because he was too little to walk. When Ongwen's mother heard of his kidnapping, she refused to escape with the other villagers, wanting to face the rebels that stole her child. When the villagers later returned to their homes, they found Ongwen's mother and father dead. According to the Private Eye Journal, as a child, Ongwen attempted to escape his captivity. His attempt failed. He was caught and forced to skin one of other captives' lives. Among other crimes he committed, Ongwen forced field prisoners to beat other prisoners to death and preside over death by stoning. During this period of his abduction, he underwent initiation ceremonies which include torture and being forced to watch violent rituals of people being killed.
As the years passed, Ongwen rose within the ranks of the organization, becoming a major of the Senior Brigade, one of the 4 LRA brigades at the age of 18. By his late 20s, Ongwen was a member of the control altar of the LRA, the Directed Military Strategy. Ongwen was reportedly killed in a battle in 2005, the identity of the body being confirmed by former LRA commanders. However, in 2006, the ICC reported that the genetic fingerprinting of the body showed that it did not belong to Ongwen. In 2013, the US government offered a $5 million reward for information leading to his arrest. At the end of 2014, Ongwen was detained and jailed by his LRA commander for having disobeyed direct orders by refusing to respond to his radio messages. Ongwen eventually got away. Ongwen was then later caught by Ugandan citizens, however, the reward was never paid. Ongwen was transferred to Ugandan forces, then to the Central African Republic forces, and finally to the ICC. His capture and impending trial in The Hague was a matter of great controversy. There were those of the opinion that the responsibility for all that had transpired fell on the Ugandan government in their failure to protect Ongwen from abduction while he was a child. The trial lasted from December 6, 2016 to May 6, 2022. 4,107 victims were granted the right to participate in the proceedings. Just hearing that number can tell us how big the disaster was. Ongwen's case is unique because he himself was abducted by the LRA and forced to be a child soldier before rising to leadership. So this is the first ICC case in which an inductee is being charged with the same crimes as those done to him that were tried in the same court at the same time. According to one commentator, in no other ICC trial have case narratives been so opposite, morally complex, and riddled with paradoxes.
So, in the case of the prosecutor versus Dominic Onigen, the prosecutor refers to the office of the prosecutor, which was led by Fatou Bensouada at the time of the trial. The role of the prosecutor at the ICC is to bring charges against individuals accused of the most serious offenses of international concern, such as genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. The accused in this case, Dominic Onigen, was a former commander of the Lord's Resistance Army, known as the LRA, charged with 70 counts of war crimes against humanity, of which he was found guilty on 61 counts. The trial began in December 2016, and Onigen was ultimately sentenced to 25 years in prison in May 2021. During the trial, the prosecution presented extensive evidence and witnesses' testimonies arguing the severity and breadth of Onigen's crime. Conversely, Onigen's defense, led by Crispus Ayana Odogo and Charles Taku, argued that his actions should be viewed in light of his forced conscription as a child and soldier and subsequent rise within the LRA, positioning him as both victim and perpetrator. So we can see the names of the judges in this case. We have first Judge Burton Schmidt, the second one is Judge Peter Kovacs, and the third one is Judge Raul Kanu Pangaligan. So basically the trial proceeding included a pre-trial phase starting in January 2015 after Onigen's surrender to the ICC, with the charges confirmed in March 2016. The trial featured extensive evidence and witnesses' testimonies over several years.
Key legal issues of this case. 1. Dual status. Victim and perpetrator. Dominic Ongwen's status as a former child soldier raised questions about the intersection of victimhood and perpetration. Ongwen's abduction by the LRA occurred as he was on his way to Abilene Primary School in Koro. The case explored whether individuals who were forcibly recruited and abducted as children and later became perpetrators could still be held accountable for their actions, particularly when they have experienced severe trauma and coercion themselves. 2. Jurisdiction of the ICC. The referral and opening of the investigation by the ICC. Uganda became a state party to the International Criminal Court after signing the Rome Statute on March 17, 1999, and ratifying it on June 14, 2002. The government of Uganda took initiative to refer the situation concerning northern Uganda to the Office of the Prosecutor on December 16, 2003. Subsequently, on July 29, 2004, the prosecutor found sufficient grounds to open an investigation into the situation concerning northern Uganda. Dominic Ongwen's trial is arguably one of the most intricate adjudicated at the International Criminal Court. From this case, we can see the application of international criminal law, particularly the Rome Statute, determining whether Ongwen's alleged actions met the legal criteria for offenses such as war crimes and crimes against humanity, and assessing the ICC's jurisdiction to prosecute him. 3. Command responsibility. Another key legal issue that arose from this case would be the fact that Ongwen was viewed as responsible for his battalion's actions. The case scrutinized the principle of individual criminal responsibility under international law, questioning whether Ongwen, as an LRA commander, could be held accountable for the entire group's actions. 4. Forced marriage. The case marked a significant precedent by prosecuting forced marriage as a distinct crime against humanity. In the trial, the ICC was prompted and empowered to examine a range of incidents involving sexual and gender-based violence, leading to the emergence of innovative legal interpretations in this subject. The court decision. The verdict on 4th of February 2021, Trial Chamber 6 found the defendant, Dominic Ongwen, guilty for a total of 61 compromising crimes against humanity and war crimes committed in northern Uganda between the 1st of July 2002 and 31st of December 2005. The sentencing. On the 6th of May 2021, Trial Chamber 6 sentenced Dominic Ongwen to 25 years of imprisonment. The period of his detention between the 4th of January 2015, and the 6th of May, 2021, was deducted from the total time of imprisonment imposed on him. On the 21st of May in 2021, the defense counsel of Dominic Ongwen submitted the defense notification of its intent to appeal the trial judgment. After review, the appeals chamber unanimously affirmed the trial judgment of Trial Chamber 6. The Chamber of Appeals found in favor of the plaintiff, the ICC, finding Dominic Ongwen guilty of the charges brought against them. The appeal was dismissed.
Now, I'm going to speak about why did we choose this case. We chose to present Ongwen case for several reasons. To start with, the charges against Ongwen unfortunately remind us of the terrible event of the surprise attack that we experienced this year by Hamas. Everyone on their own level can relate to the victims and feel their pain. Some of us even know personally survivors of the Nova Festival. I have family that lives in a kibbutz in Del Tef. Here you can see some of the pictures of the destroyed house that we can find, a lot of them in the south of Israel now in these days. And all of us have friends that are served and are currently serving in Miluim. In addition, similar accusations like we see in this case are leveled now against high-ranking officers in the army and head of state of Israel. The accusation being war crimes and crimes against humanity. Beyond that, we found interest in the issue that arose out of Alus, whether and how the court should refer to the defendant's claim that he is in a way a victim himself. So a little bit reminder that the verdict acknowledged Ongwen's unique trajectory from a victim to a predator, but ultimately held him accountable for his actions as an LRA commander. And now I will discuss about the importance of this case. So, Dominic Ongwen conviction for gender-based charge is a watershed moment in the fight against violence and crime motivated by gender across the world. Despite the Rome Statute absence of a specific wording on gender-based crime, this case demonstrates the global importance of prosecuting those who commit such crimes. As a result of the court decision, international law now encompasses a broader variety of crimes relating to gender equality, including forced marriage and forced pregnancies. The Ongwen case has also raised important discussion regarding how to handle criminal behavior by former victims. Questions about the connection between victimization and offending behavior are prompted by this convoluted situation. Dominic Ongwen's trial represents a significant chapter in ongoing quest for accountability and justice in the case of egregiously international crimes. In conclusion, we really hope that the verdict will deter other leaders from carrying out similar crimes on their citizens and the citizens of the other countries as well. And now, my friend Eden will speak a little bit about his specific connection to this case.
So this lovely picture was photoed 2 years ago during my time I spent volunteering with children in Uganda. So my trip over there deeply connects me to the case of Dominic Ongwen. When I see the effects of conflict on young lives was the main reason I chose this topic. I want to spotlight the tragic cycle where children are forced into combat, much like Ongwen was. Discussing this case highlights the urgent need to protect child soldiers. My experience over there in Uganda motivates me and drives me to evacuate the children in conflict zones.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.